Dear viewers, welcome. What is iTunes? I want to show you how to use iTunes on this first episode in our iCloud series. You need a cable to connect your phone to the computer. Just disconnect the USB cable from the adapter and plug it in to the USB jack in the computer. And iTunes is already telling me there's an update for my phone. We're gonna have to wait with the update. I want to tell you about iTunes. In the beginning, when they started selling the iPhone, they came up with this idea that we were supposed to synchronize our phones with our computers every day or every night. We would have to synchronize the iPhone with the computer, all the pictures, all the numbers, contacts, and music, everything would be synced. So we would begin our day the next day with everything synced. But this ended in 2011 at the annual presentation. Steve Jobs got up on the stage and he said, "We're tired of synchronizing our phones every night." So he introduced something called iCloud. But in order to tell you about iCloud, I have to tell you about iTunes. iTunes is still the platform, the basic platform for Apple iPads, iPhones, Macs, MacBooks. I mean, a month ago, my iPhone Maps app would crash, and no matter how much I updated over the air updates, nothing helped. And I just couldn't get it to work. But when I connected it to iTunes, I had a copy of my phone in iTunes. Uh, when I connected it to iTunes, suddenly everything was working as it should. Everything was back to normal. And that's one of the advantages with iTunes, because you can't do that over the air. But enough said, let's begin, and we're gonna dive in step by step. Once you've connected your iPhone, it should be displayed above. There's a small icon of an iPhone right there. Just click it. iTunes will now recognize your phone. The name will say whatever you named it, how many gigabytes, what your phone number is, which model it is, and it says here there's an update. You can choose if you want to download that update to iTunes at first, and then later on install it. Here you can put back a copy of your iPhone. You can put it back on the iPhone. You just press "I want to restore my iPhone," and it will restore to the copy you have made, that you have saved in iTunes. This is the way you solve a problem similar to the one I had. I had a problem with my maps, the original iPhone apps, maps, and it would crash. But I connected my phone to iTunes, and everything was resolved. iCloud. You will have this one on, of course. You will update with iCloud every day, every night, every once and then when you reach your own personal network at home. But you can choose to update through this computer. I mean, this is very handy if you don't have any access to the internet. I mean, think about it. You copy your phone to the computer. You don't use any internet for that. There's an option here to update through the computer, and you can even set a code on your copy of your iPhone. If you don't want anything to happen to a copy, a stranger can easily download a copy of your phone to his phone. If your computer is located in the living room and you got people visiting, you might want to set a password on it. It also gives you an option here to make a copy. You can plug in a phone, make a copy, and you might do something with that phone, and it's not working any good any longer, and you can plug it in and restore it from that copy that you just left on the computer. I mean, it's intended that all the family members, they have the iPads and iPhones copied and stored on the computer. I would say I got my son's iPhone, my iPhone, a couple of iPads, and that's it. I mean, you can use iCloud, and we use iCloud for the pictures. We use iCloud for almost all of it. But as I mentioned before, it's very safe to have a copy of your iPhone in iTunes. If anything goes wrong, I mean, if you jailbreak your brand new iPhone 7, if you jailbreak it and you might install something that is not compatible with something else and they're not working together, and everything just goes wrong. There's only one way to resolve this. Is to connect to iTunes. Options: synchronizing automatically every time the iPhone is connected to the computer, synchronizing only through Wi-Fi, videos and music in high quality or low quality to save up some space, only synchronizing selected music, the ability to select which albums you want to synchronize, the options to set warnings, and configuring access to iTunes. Now, I would definitely select managing which music I want to sync. Of course, depending on how much space you got left on the phone and how much music you got. If you only got one or two albums, you might sync all of it. But if you got a lot of music, I would go for this option. I choose it manually. At the bottom, there's an indicator and it shows how you're using your space. It indicates percentage, and I got 2.96 gigabytes free. The apps. Here you can sort out the apps. You can place them as you wish, and every time you sync, they will automatically be arranged as they are here. So no matter how you twist them and turn them and misplace them or whatever, every time you sync, they will be exactly as here. Now we got apps that you can manage with the computer. I got OPlayer, I got Pages. So let's say I want to transfer a lot of files to Pages. I just click on Pages and I click on Add, and I just select files in the computer. I have them stored on the computer and I just add them. I'm gonna add this short movie that I made myself. It's a fragment. I'm gonna add it to O Player. We're gonna select my movie and we're gonna add it. This is very useful if you're going on a long trip and you don't have access to internet. Just remember, you're not allowed to fill up the phone with movies that you have downloaded from the internet, of course. And the same thing goes with music. Music, you have music on your computer, you just select a map, you drag it into iTunes. We need that on our trip. We don't have access to internet. And I got my albums here now. If you got music on your desktop, you just drag it into iTunes. iTunes will recognize it with the album art and the whole shebang. And we're gonna sync it up with our iPhone. Of course, I could have thrown everything in the O player, but I like to keep my music in the iPhone's own music app, because that way I can listen to music and do whatever I want. It will still be playing my music. Now, the software update is going smoothly. It's almost done. So we need that new software. And we're gonna sync it up. The apps, we don't need to sync the apps because that goes through iCloud. But we do want some music. And now we can select it manually. It's not going to drop all of the music directly. No, I just want to transfer 2 albums. It's synchronizing. It's almost done. So we're going to take a look at these apps on my iPhone, because we need them on this long trip we're going on. The O player really shines here. I mean, you can do almost anything with this app. It plays all of it. And there's my little fragment that I have imported. But O player is really a useful app. So if you're going away, fill it up with movies. And we got our music in the Apple Music app. That way it can play through. And if I want to go out for a run, for instance, I can play music and I don't need any internet connection. The music is all stored on my phone, so I don't need any internet connection. Maybe I don't even have an internet connection. And that way this is very useful. It's like an iPod. Because the iPhone was an iPod to start with. And then it became an iPhone. And a lot of people, they still think you have to pay money to listen to music on your iPhone that you have bought for like €1,000. Anyway, if you feel like buying music, you just enter the App Store, you log in with your iCloud account, Apple ID, and you make your purchase. If you have an Apple ID that's not connected to a credit card, just buy iTunes gift cards and you fill your account up. And the possibility to change your storage plan and pay for the storage plan, €1 per month, maybe for 50 gigs. That's also possible with these iTunes gift cards. And the Mac has its own Mac store, Mac App Store. And iTunes is iTunes, so if it's about music, it doesn't matter if it's a Mac, an iPad, an iPhone. Anyway, thanks for watching and feel free to ask us anything.